Hello everyone, welcome to another video of ours. Today we have Mr. Yashwant Gaur with us. Yashwant is a dear batchmate. We have studied together in ISM Dhanbad and he is a petroleum engineer by background and currently is working in one of the more reputable oil companies as a drilling engineer. So enough of me talking about Yashwant and I'll hand it over to Yashwant to talk about himself.
Okay, thanks, Parth. As Partha mentioned, my name is Yashwant Gaur, and we graduated in 2019 in petroleum engineering. I did something extra as well. I did my minor in computer science as well, and after that, in college, I got campus placement to Halliburton, and Partha went to Exxon. I remember we interviewing together for Exxon in the morning. But I got into Halliburton project management. It was basically a project management end-to-end, a kind of a PSL, which is a cross-functional, looks after end-to-end service deliveries. I worked there as a well engineer associate for 4 years, and after that I moved to another organization in Africa. Right now I'm currently working.
Some So this approach you took, it's very unconventional in the sense that people generally try to move from India to, let's say, the West, US or Europe, but you moved to Africa, which is um, typically not the opposite of what people usually do. So what's the rationale behind that?
The rationale behind was, I was looking for opportunity. I was just looking for a change, and I came to knew about this place and the organization as well. Some of my the colleagues in Halliburton back then also told me about it, and that time I was 4 years experience. So let me tell you something about like in oil industry. We were discussing earlier as well that in oil industry you don't you don't bag the job by finding job on the portals. It's usually done by contact. So where you know people, it is easier to connect with them. They trust you, and they're willing to give opportunity to someone whom they know, but also on the basis of merits. It's not that you don't know anything and you'll back the job. It's just that it's easier for you to go through the process of hiring. And apart from that, being 4 year experienced in drilling does not give you enough experience to apply for jobs in like you said, Middle East or maybe somewhere in Europe or US. In drilling, it doesn't work that way. I'm not sure about this why.
Yeah, when you talk about contacts, I think one of the first things we learn in college is make contacts. And
Yeah,
to me, it somehow feels like the entire oil industry is just a small world. Like you meet
yeah,
someone
really.
who knows someone who with whom you would have worked. So yeah, it's very essential that you have the right contacts and you are in good terms with everyone.
I mean, exactly. In India, whoever I worked with, right now, most of my colleagues here have worked with them sometime in past, back 20 years back or 10 years back or 5 years back.
Right. And Uh, what, how, like, was the context and your base knowledge sufficient to get you placed, or were there some other requirements? And can you just highlight a bit about the process as well?
Okay. So the process is kind of very simple. This organization also posts jobs in the on the LinkedIn or on the social media platforms. But yeah, so I came to know about this job, like I told you, through my friends and my colleagues. They connected me with someone in HR, and yeah, they asked for my CV, my experience, other documents required for processing view. And after that, during this interview, I mean, I'll just skip to the interview part. So yeah, interview was pretty much about whatever I learned in last 4 years. It was pretty simple. I would say they were looking for someone with the experience in the using landmark drilling engineer suit, all the softwares like Compass, Stress Check, Well Plan, and also who has worked in the site as well, have little experience about how when you plan a well, how does it get executed in real. So yeah, I mean, interview was quite centered around that only. And yeah, it was really easy to bag this opportunity.
And having the contacts in right contacts also helped you in some way.
The right contacts helped me through the HR process particularly. So they were quite, quite friendly and helped me a lot whenever I did not understood, because to go to Africa there are a lot of process. Certain vaccinations are required, certain I did not go out of India before, so I did not knew about the visa process and all. So they helped me a lot through that. So the contacts helped me through these part particularly, um, not with the technical one.
Yeah, like technical is the base expectation. So if you are a
Exactly.
young professional or a experienced professional, you still need to have your technicals in place. Without technicals, you would mostly kind of be unemployable, to be very light in saying that. But how is Africa treating you?
So far, it's really good. I mean, I like people. Um, have not been around, so I don't know much about their culture, like their festivals and all. But yeah, I mean, working side by side with them, they are very good, friendly, jolly people. And yeah, I mean, it's really good working with them. They are very, I don't know what's the word for that, but they're very jolly people, and they mean you no harm. I mean, sometimes people talk about that African people is like they're very aggressive and they speak very loudly. They might be violent, but that's actually not the case. Like earlier, I told you also. It's just whenever if you see two people, African people shouting somewhere, it just might be that they are just talking. I mean, it's just the way they talk sometimes, but it does not mean that they are fighting or they're being violent. So yeah, I mean, they're really good people.
And uh, do you see any benefits in working in Africa as compared to India? Or
Mm, I'm not sure. I mean, I've been working with a lot of Indians, and also the native people here. Um, The only difference I find in my current organization is that there is certain quick decision making which I kind of like. Things get executed very fast in a very fast manner because there is not a huge line of hierarchy in the organization. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty normal. I'm living my ideal hostel life. And yeah, I mean, going to work, coming back to apartment where I have all my colleagues living with me, and yeah, I mean, I enjoy working here.
no, so the company is providing you accommodation. Can you talk more
Yeah,
about some of the benefits?
Okay, so yeah, company is providing me with accommodation, transportation, and they're taking care of fooding. I mean, uh, I mean, the f all the 3 meals of the day, and yeah, I mean, I mean, you don't have to worry about anything. You just have to carry your bag and come here. Uh, you will get everything here.
I
You just
think
have to take care of your work. You just have to take care of your work. Everything else is taken care by the company.
it was a discussion with you or someone else where we discussed this point that when you go to the west, the roads improve, but your quality of life improves. While if you come to a lower income country, your quality of life actually improves significantly. Do you feel so?
Um, about that, how to put it in words. So yeah, I mean, okay. Think about it like this. Like if you ask someone in oil industry who are working in even in Gulf countries, but not the countries where you have like let's say Saudi or UAE. These are not kind of war prone or kind of projected as violent countries. So working there as well, usually you do not get the rotation and the other benefits from the organization. But while you're working in countries like Iraq, so yeah, working in these countries comes with certain benefits. The organizations takes care of everything because they I mean they don't want you living out anywhere. They want you safe and secure, so they take care of everything and they just expect work from you.
Mm. So, yeah, that's a good point, Yashwant. And do you think, as per you, are there any cons in transferring to Africa?
Uh, it depends. I mean, if you want to have a life where you want to go out, um, like you want, if someone who likes travel, visiting places and destination uh, during their work, work rotation time. So yeah, it's not for people like, I mean, not for those people, but someone who is coming just to work. And I mean, you are getting rotation, right? You are getting rotation like working 2 months here and then getting 1 month off, or working 4 months here or getting 1 month off. So you're getting rotation. I mean, if someone who likes to, travel, going to spots or destinations, then yeah, I mean, then it's not okay for those people. Other than that, who just want to come work here and then take the vacation in their time off, it's really good. You have nothing to worry about.
So, are you not allowed to go out? Is it like you come to your accommodation, then you go to work, and then you come back to your accommodation?
Uh, Mostly we go out as well, but yeah, I mean it's usually orchestrated by the organization. It's not that we are not allowed to go outside, but it's for our own safety as well. That if I mean you're in a different country, you're not in a country like US, and obviously this country also sometimes projected differently in the media. So as a precaution, company asks you to take care of yourself.
Perfect. And anything else? What about food? How
Uh,
are you accommodating with the food? What about the climate?
okay, so talking about climate, if you have been in Mumbai, it's just like that. So 9 months, 9 to 10 months, it's rainfall, and yeah, not much heavy in the city where we live, but yeah, I mean mostly rainy season, and after that it's 2 to 3 months of dry season. Talking about food, so I'm getting Indian food here. So yeah, I don't have to think about anything else.
Nice. So is the food arranged by the company or do you have to look for your
Yeah,
own?
it's arranged by company. We have few restaurants on the nearby as well, nearby our accommodation. So sometimes we visit those places as well. So apparently food is really good.
Nice. And let's talk about, let's take this example. Let's say I am a young professional and I see, okay, Yashwant working in Ali transferred to this particular company now. I like the way things are going for him and I want to follow that similar path. What would be the things that will work in my favor? What would be the things I need to improve on? And what would be the challenges that I would face and how can I go over them?
Okay. So I mean, if you are a professional, young professional who have worked like 4 years, 3 to 4 years in oil and gas, and have been through a quality experience. I mean, this is something which is very important. Like if you're working for 3 years but you haven't been to field once, if you're working for 3 to 4 years but you're working only on the site, haven't been to office, working on the other side of execution, which is planning, then yeah, I mean, then there comes some constraint to where you can move. In my case, like I worked in planning as well, and I worked in with execution as well. So yeah, I mean, it helped me. I had multiple options. So what happens that for drilling engineer, I'll talk about that only. So drilling engineer can work as a well site drilling engineer as well. They can work as planning engineer as well. The different some organizations have engineers, drilling engineers hired to look after only the vendors and mobilization of the tools and equipments and other things. Um, Other than that, I would say, yeah, I mean, in sometime drilling engineers have an option. If you have worked in your previous organization regarding the procurement, then yeah, you can get hired into procurement, supply chain, and procurement as well. So yeah, I mean, those are the kind of roles you can bag in future. Um, and yeah, there are a lot of countries. Now, after that, you have to decide whether you want to opt for what they call it, basically with a job without rotation, where you will work there for like 10 to 11 months, and you will get a yearly leaves of 12, 40 days something, or whether you want to work in rotation. So that's also something you should think about, prioritize first, because some people are there who does not want to stay long away from their families. So that is another factor. And after that comes the money, obviously. So you have to kind of, evaluate what is the current, I mean, the in the industry, what is the current range of pay at this much experience, and that you have, and also for the job role you're going, how much usually industry pays. And also then after that depends from region to region as well. Like you will get paid really good in like Gulf countries, and then around same in the Africa, a little better in Europe and US. So I mean, these are the kind of factor that you have to consider. After that, once you decide, yeah, I mean, it's just you have to find some contact, maybe on the LinkedIn, maybe through your alma mater. Find someone who is already kind of working there. Ask them the questions that you want to ask later. Better ask them first. About, like, I mean, these days the talk is a lot about like work-life balance, um, pay disparities, uh, so those kind of stuff, if you are worried about those things, ask them first and get cleared about it. And yeah, after that, usually it's very easy. If there is a vacancy, you ask them, they forward your resume through either through portal, they recommend you, or they give your resume to HR. There'll be an interview schedule. Some organization have 2 rounds interview, some have 3 rounds of interview. One of them might be HR, and two of them might be technical level 1 and level 2. Yeah, you just go through it. It's not really that much difficult if you have really worked as your current organization requires you to. It's not really difficult because I think that the interviews of freshers are more difficult than the interviews of experienced professionals, because usually what is asked in the interview of the profession, I mean already experienced professionals, is that okay, what did you do? How did you do it? And what was the results?
That's a good point. And
I mean, exactly. If you are an experienced professional and you mention something in CV, they are going to ask you how you did it. What was about it? They will ask your experience through that particular point you mentioned. And if you have not done it, uh, don't don't put it, don't fake in the resume, I would say ever. It does not work in the long term.
fake it till you make it doesn't work in professional interviews.
Exactly.
And yeah, thanks Yashwant for sharing all about your journey. And I think you have already shown interest to help other peoples because you want to pay it forward. Somebody helped you, and now you want to help others. So how can people reach out to you if they need your help?
They can reach out to me first through LinkedIn. If I see someone who's really interested, I'll give them my contacts, WhatsApp and other contacts, and yeah, we can be in touch further.
So I'll put Yashwant's LinkedIn in the description. So do find it, and if you need help from him, please feel free to reach out. He's a great guy. He will help you. And before we end this video, Yashwant, any final recommendations to our audience?
Well, the only recommendation I have I mean, we call it lessons learned, right, of life. So yeah, there are 2 lessons learned of my from my life. First is I should have learned Microsoft Office, MS Excel, PowerPoint, and all these other professional tools, which are very easy. But I think I should have learned them in the college or maybe earlier, whenever I had the time and started working normal day-to-day activities or whatever task I do, should have worked on these tools. And yeah, I should have started about investment a little earlier. It's not too late for me, so it's not too late for anyone. So I would say read about it, learn about it, and yeah, but invest, understand the power of compounding. It's very important in the current era where we are living.
And because Yashwant mentioned Microsoft Office, I'll just share a story from our college days. So we had this one professor who used to make us solve some problems on Excel and then put it on a presentation. And most of us used to skip it because we thought, in the industry, we are not going to use Excel. Who uses Excel? We'll use softwares.
Yeah,
And when we came to the industry, it's 90% all about Excel and PowerPoints.
yeah.
Yeah, so,
I mean, a lot. It's a lot.
and
Other than that as well, I mean, if you see these days, the tools that we are using, like, I mean, people think, okay, what do you have to do on Outlook or Teams? You just have to send mails or chat. But there are lot of things people do on Microsoft Teams. I mean, it's a really powerful tool for collaboration. And similarly, I mean, for drilling engineer like me, I work on Excel for all kind of offset data analysis. I have to prepare my drilling programs on Word documents. I have to give presentations to my management for any kind of technical review for any new tools that we are proposing, or in any new design that we are proposing. So yeah, I mean, I'm using in the entire suite of MS Office. So yeah, it was difficult for me when I started out working, but I had to learn it. I would say that don't spend your initial day of your career working your way around through MS Office. Rather be proficient in it and yeah, focus more on the work.
And yeah, if you are joining, don't skip. Like the two softwares that you have to have some knowledge is Excel and PowerPoint. Apart
PowerPoint
from that, there are things you
for
can
sure.
manage with Outlook or other
Exactly.
things. That's all good. But do not skip your lectures on PowerPoints and Excel. They are
They're really
the other
important.
softwares are important, but they are just button clicking. The actual work happens in Excel. But yeah,
Yeah.
good old memories. So, but anyways,
Yes.
thanks Yashwant for joining us, sharing your story, and also sharing how people can reach out to you. And I hope you this benefits our users and you are also able to pass on your goodwill. Again, thanks for
Sure,
joining.
sure. Thanks, Partha. Thanks for having me.